Welcome to this Sleepy God's bedtime story, where you will be guided into a deep and peaceful sleep with ancient myths that help you forget the stress of modern life. I'm your host tonight, Henry, and I'll be your guide into the world of myth and wonder. But before we begin our journey, let's take a moment to settle in. Make sure you're in a comfortable position. Release any tension in your shoulders, your jaw, even your fingertips. Now gently bring your attention to your breath. Breathe in slowly and let it out. Even slower. Again, in and out. Let the weight of the day fade into the background. There's nothing to worry about now, just you and this quiet moment. Tonight, we'll journey beyond the veil of time to a place where gods once walked and ancient stories still echo through the stars. Now, close your eyes and let your imagination drift as we step into a story older than memory. After the world was shaped from the body of the first giant, and Midgard was formed for humankind, the three brothers, Odin, Vili, and Ve, lifted their eyes to the sky. They had shaped the land and sea. They had scattered stars and set time in motion. Yet something was missing. The gods had no home. The world was vast, layered, and beautiful. But there was no place where the makers could rest. So from the quiet space between starlight and sky, they dreamed of Asgard. High above Midgard, they began their work. They raised foundations from light and shaped walls from clouds and stardust. The walls shimmered with hues no mortal eye could name. The palace halls were wide and still, not built for war, but for thought and for rest. Trees rose between corridors, their branches humming with silent magic. Rivers of light curved through quiet gardens, and the air itself breathed peace. Odin shaped the great hall, its silver roof catching the light of distant suns. From his high seat, he would one day watch over all realms. But for now, he simply built, calm and focused. Vili crafted gardens where thought could wander. Stone paths moved with the wind's rhythm, and still ponds mirrored the stars. V-shaped halls for feeling, chambers where music waited to be born, and domes where color remembered. They gave no commands, they needed no plans. Together, they built. Each knew the other's vision, without a word, and when it was done, the air in Asgard grew quiet, not empty, but complete. The gods had a home, not above the world nor apart from it, but quietly watching, gently holding. And so Asgard stood, between silence and song, between starlight and story, awaiting its first divine breath. As Asgard settled into stillness, the gods turned their gaze once more to the world below. Midgard unfolded beneath them, alive, delicate, full of breath. a creation too beautiful to be left alone, yet too free to be held. At the edge of the sky, the three brothers stood in quiet accord. No words were exchanged, only the shared sense that something was needed, a thread, not of control, but of care. And so they began. What they built was not a road, but a ribbon. A line of light stretched gently through the space between worlds. It did not demand to be seen. It shimmered with the colors of fire and mist, of dawn and dusk. They wove into it both nearness and distance, so it might connect without binding, invite without reaching. It hovered above the world, sometimes gleaming like polished glass, sometimes fading like a dream not quite remembered. Those who crossed it did so in reverence, though many would never know they had touched it. From the world below, some called it a rainbow. Others believed it to be the breath of the gods. The gods called it Bifrost. It shimmered in the quiet, a promise woven in light, and in that silence, everything had already been said. With Asgard complete and the bridge aglow, the gods gathered for the first time within their golden halls, not for ceremony, nor to mark conquest or beginning, but simply to be. The halls were lit by starlight and the soft pulse of distant suns. Tables of smooth stone bore fruits untouched by mortal hands. The floors shimmered faintly beneath them, mirroring the slow turn of the sky. No throne sat higher than another. No name was spoken above the rest. They arrived without announcement and sat without command. Frigg watched with steady calm. Sif rested, golden hair braided down her shoulder. Idun held her quiet basket of apples. Thor stood at the edge of the hall, youthful and still. Freya brought the scent of fields in late summer, and beside him Gerd moved like twilight air. Freya shimmered at the far end, a soft flame of memory. Loki, distant, watched the stars through the open arch. No speeches were made, no glasses raised. The feast began in silence. Berries filled waiting bowls. Wines flowed in ribbons of amber and dusk. No laughter broke the quiet. It flowed, with it, as light moves through water. There were no plans shared, no promises spoken, only presence. Outside, the sky moved slowly, and above it all, Asgard breathed. When the feast faded into quiet and the golden hall dimmed to starlight, Odin stepped away from the others and walked alone into the lower paths of Asgard. He moved without sound, the floor soft beneath his feet as if the stones remembered him. Through empty archways and sleeping gates, he made his way to the roots of the great tree, Yggdrasil. The tree rose through all the realms, its branches tangled with time, its roots sunk deep into what could not be named. Odin stood beside one such root and waited. From above, two shadows passed through the still air. The ravens came, black wings spread wide, eyes filled with what they had seen. They did not speak, but their presence carried the scent of wind and the weight of distant lives. One had flown over riverbanks, where a child dropped a carved toy into the current. Another had passed a quiet hut, where an old woman sat weaving, not knowing why she dreamed of frost. Odin listened. Each small moment was gathered like dust, each whisper of mortal life a piece of the whole. He did not react. He remembered. In the hush beneath the world, he was not dreaming. He was recording, maintaining balance, marking every echo in the ledger of silence. No prophecy stirred him that night, only the world itself, and the slow, patient work of watching it continue. Far from Asgard, where the light of Bifrost faded into the cold edge of space, Odin walked alone toward a place untouched by time. He crossed lands where no footsteps lingered. He passed through frost and shadow until he reached a grove where the wind moved sideways and snow did not fall but hovered. There, in a hut shaped from stone and memory, waited the Seer. She was older than seasons, older than silence, and she had been waiting. When Odin entered, she did not rise. She did not greet him. She simply looked into the dark and said that the end is already walking from afar. Her voice held no fear. It rang clear like breath on winter air. She spoke not of battle nor doom. She spoke of patterns unraveling, of songs slowly drifting out of tune. And then she said, "The order you have built is a life in itself. It must be held like something living, not caged, not sharpened, but embraced." Odin did not speak. He stood for a long time listening. Then, from his cloak, he took a small silver sphere, no larger than a drop of rain. He placed it gently upon the stone beside her and left without a word. Behind him, the grove remained still. The Seer did not move. She only listened as the wind began to hum again. And so, nothing broke. No blade rose. No sky fell. But in that stillness, something softened. As if even the stars chose to breathe more slowly. The gods returned to their halls, not with triumph, but with understanding. Odin walked quietly beneath the tree, his steps slow, his hands empty. And across the 9 worlds, nothing had changed, and yet everything felt more whole. Let that stillness stay with you now. You do not need to carry the whole story, only the silence it leaves behind. Let your breath slow, let your thoughts loosen. Let the night hold you. You have listened, and that is enough. Sleep well. You're safe here.